Is this the best product for new parents? Well, to find out, let's make some coffee. And just like that, we've got coffee. So imagine you've got just a mug. Let's say all parents out there. You know what it's like to make some coffee, put it in your mug, and then, oh, kiddo's got to have a diaper change, or, oh, I got to go feed my child. You just leave your coffee, and it's sitting, and then after about, 30 minutes, an hour, 2 hours maybe sometimes, you come back, and your coffee that was nice and piping hot is now cold. What do? Maybe throw it in the microwave. Not much you can do to get it back to that, once glorious, first sip of the morning kind of feel. That's what this is wanting to alleviate. It's not just for parents, it's for everybody, but it is a mug that is chargeable. It is also wireless, and it keeps your coffee hot as you want, for as long as you want, provided it has enough battery and everything. This mug is called the Ember Mug. They didn't send this to me. I bought this about 1.5 years ago. And I bought it thinking, this is kind of expensive, but I want to see what it's like, because I kept having that problem where I would make coffee, and I'm more of a sipper, where I like to sip on my coffee for a long period of time and not just like chug it all in one sitting. What I like to do, I'm a work from home kind of person. Not kind of, I do work from home. But I would just sit and sip my coffee, work, sip my coffee, work. And over time, it would get cold, like coffee does in a ceramic mug. But this mug stopped that from happening. I didn't have cold coffee ever again. That wasn't a thing. I didn't have to throw it in the microwave. Also, don't throw this in the microwave. I had this, and my wife was pregnant at the time with our first child. And so I was like, shoot, this is pretty good for me. And then she tried it. And then 2 days after I got this, we got her one too, because it's that good. And they're pretty expensive, but if you can have hot coffee, and especially if you're a parent and new parents, where like you're up at all hours of the night and all hours of the morning and you want coffee, but at the same time you have to take care of a little tiny baby, this solves the problem. It's a very small niche problem to have, but it's a day ruiner, I can tell you that, where, oh, I gotta take care of the little one. Oh, mom wants to sleep. Oh, gotta change the diaper, gotta feed him, gotta, play with him and be interactive with the child, because that's what being a parent is about. It has this coaster that plugs in. It's not plugged in right now, but it plugs in and it charges with these little pins that you'll see, and some connectors on the bottom. What that does is that it has a battery built into it. It has a heating element built into it as well, and it keeps your coffee the temperature that you set it in the app. The battery life is okay. It's about an hour to an hour and a half. It depends on if you started with hot coffee and you just want to keep it at a certain temperature that it goes down to. Or if you're like me and sometimes you forget to set the temperature, because it doesn't always do it automatically when you put coffee in. And then, a couple hours go by and you forgot about it. You can heat it up. I wouldn't necessarily recommend it. It can also, keep a charge indefinitely while it's connected to the coaster and power and everything. And it's not going to keep your coffee hot forever if you leave it on the charger. Eventually, it's going to stop, or the coffee is going to kind of evaporate out of it. And that's a part where this kind of takes a ding from me, is that like when you have a full cup, totally fine. It tastes great. It keeps it hot, and it's nice and hot for a long time. That's awesome. But the more you drink, it doesn't really have like a way to measure the volume of coffee that you have in it. It can detect whether or not it's an empty cup or a full cup, and it won't turn the heating element on willy-nilly. But at the same time, if you have just a tiny bit of coffee in there, it doesn't know that you only have a tiny bit of coffee in there. And so it's going to try to keep the heat up. But what that actually does, it's heating the coffee up too much, and it gets it too hot, and it kind of burns the coffee. If you have ever smelled like, overburned coffee or boiled coffee or anything like that, it's pretty nasty, and this does it if you're not careful with it. What I usually do is I just turn the temperature down from the app on my phone and everything once I get down to about a third or a quarter of a cup. The app is good. It's intuitive enough. You can set the temperature of your mug from 120 to 145 degrees Fahrenheit. The default is 135, and that's pretty good. I feel like that's a good range for most people. If you are one of those people that likes your coffee super hot, 145 is pretty dang hot. It's like very sippably, like the tiniest little sip. If you have more than one of these in your house, you can customize your mug with this little LED at the bottom here. When it has coffee in it, it's gonna be white, and no matter if it's at temperature, if it is going up and down from temperature and everything, it'll glow white and kind of like do a breathing up and down to let you know that it's not at temperature yet, and it'll hold steady white when it reaches temperature. And I guess the personalization of doing the LED is whenever it doesn't have liquid in it, you can pick it up off the coaster and it'll show the color that you indicate on the app. But the problem is, I don't like that. I want to see the color that I chose when the coffee is at temperature. And this is a very tiny gripe, but like it just doesn't make sense to me to not have the LED indicator be what I want and when I want. It's kind of very limited. And the personalization of that is just like, hey, it'll show the color that you chose every once in a while. If you have two black ones, you can differentiate between the two. It's a full RGB LED in there, so it'll do any color that you choose. But that's not the only function of the LED. It'll glow red when it's out of battery, and it'll glow green when it's on the charger and at full battery. I was a barista for a few years, and I really enjoy getting to know a coffee. Right now, what I'm drinking is from Colombia. It's a single origin. This isn't a channel dedicated to reviewing coffees, but this is a good coffee. If you're a parent or a new parent or a soon-to-be parent, or if you know someone that is going to be a parent soon, and you have the expendable income, this is the product to get if they like coffee. And it doesn't just hold coffee. It can hold tea or any hot beverage that you want. It doesn't really matter. It has a few different presets in the app for like tea temperature and things like that. Okay. You find the temperature that works for you and it'll be good. Comes in a few different sizes, a few different colors. This is black because that just felt the best to me. It's the most aesthetically pleasing to my eye. It hides, scratches and dings pretty well, because it can scratch and ding, because my wife's is white and it has some dings on it. I think even Best Buy has an exclusive like blue color, which is okay. I mean, I want it, but I don't necessarily want to pay for another whole thing, So that's the Ember Mug 2. It's pretty great. I've had a good time with it. It's kind of pricey, but if you're like me, that price is justified. If you're not like me and you're like, $130 for a mug? I got this one at Target for $5. Why would I want another mug? Yeah, keep the ceramic one. That's totally fine. It's much less expensive than this. And this, while it's, good, doesn't compare to the price of this. But the trade-off that you get there is, do you want hot coffee even after an hour? Or do you want cold coffee after an hour? Do you want to drink your coffee real fast, or do you want to savor it? Either way, it's up to you to decide. But I hope this is giving you some perspective. Like, comment, subscribe. You're going to be seeing a lot more videos on the channel soon. It's been a while, but it's great to be back. And catch you guys real soon.